Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 5 in this series, TSL's Hyun versus Empire's Kaz. And Hyun really making a comeback in this series. After falling behind 2-0, now evened up the series at 2 games apiece. Winner take all Game 5. Now, in Game 3, I really think Kaz had just let the game get away from him. In Game 4, Hyun just really utilized the map better, being able to outflank his opponent, utilizing the faster movement speed, and then go in for a good base trade. Hyun also did utilize banelings very well to clean up any aggression that Kaz could have done. And here we are, Game 5 here on Ohana. Now, first thing I do want to note, the map does have a lot of similarities to Belshire Beach. One of the things, though, is that there is destructible rocks leading to your third. So Ohana, a map that Zerg players generally like. We'll see if Hyun will be able to utilize that advantage once more as the game does get underway. Kaz opening up with a supply depot first. We'll see if he does go for a barracks or if he's going to be going for a command center first. Kaz looks like he is going to be going for a command center first. A drone will be making its way down, and I don't know if Kaz really should be going for a command center first in a map like this. The reason behind this is that Zerg players can easily take their third base as well and then utilize the queen strategy to try to take down these destructible rocks with Zerglings. It does take quite a while for that Zergling to take down these rocks off over here. But because there's not going to be any true aggression coming in from Marines, there's not much that can really be done. Hyun now coming over with the drone, going to try to take down this one SCV. SCV is trying to build now a second SCV and a third SCV coming down. Will it be enough, as the one drone has pulled 2 SCVs off the mineral line? So Hyun is doing a great job here, as now the drone is coming up inside. We are going into one barracks. We could perhaps get up a second barracks here with a supply depot here to finish off this little bit of a wall off, as the drone still wandering around is currently sitting at 33 hit points. A second barracks is placed down. Did that drone see it is the key question, as is it going to get the shot off there? One more hit would do it, and I believe the drone did see that one. No, come on, Hyun. Yes, he did see that second barracks be placed down, as the drone is still trying to get in some damage. Natural regeneration on that drone really helping out to get in a lot of that damage there. So far, one low hit point SCV perhaps should be repaired at least a little, as the drone now making its way over. He could come in for the kill, and now backing away again. So a little bit of a dance back and forth. We do see the third base is established by Hyun. We are going into extractor pool, so Hyun will benefit from metabolic boost early on. We'll see if he leaves any drones on gas here, as overlords are getting into position. So a little bit of action early on, not very much, but now both players are just going to sit inside their relative bases and really try to macro up. They know that any attack, home field advantage does make a really big difference here. We are going into the double refinery build by Kaz, and this is off of or after double racks, so a little bit curious about this. We may see perhaps some just straight up bio play as opposed to reactor Hellion. Hyun needs to get up more queens. He is currently supply blocked at 30 over 30. And we'll see what the follow-up strategy will be, as Zerglings now making their way out. One Zergling holding each of the Zelnaga towers. A group of Marines, a platoon of Marines, quickly going to take down that poor Zergling there, as the Marines are now wandering out across the field. The hatchery is going to be training up a queen. The queen does have decent DPS, and now with also a range of 5 on the attack, should be able to do fairly well up against all of those opponents. We are seeing a factory being added, and we are also seeing a tech lab added here, so it may be reactor Hellion alongside Stimpack. Now, I do like that play. A third command center also coming in from Kaz, as well as the Marines are trying to get in a little bit of damage here. This one Marine will simply get taken down. A little bit of microing from those Marines. Is it going to be enough, as those Zerglings are now pushing away? The Zerglings do have a movement speed advantage over those Marines, and with that natural regeneration should be able to return home and clean up these Marines if these Marines do not themselves return home. Back over here, Kaz is still only running off of 2 gas. gas, we can see that it is going to be reactor Hellions. We are going into stim pack. We'll see how many Hellions are trained up, and when we start perhaps seeing a swap back onto the barracks as more and more Marines will want to be trained, as Zerglings are now trying to test that front door. One Zergling is able to make its way inside, but the rest of the Zerglings are not. Beautiful play there, getting up that supply depot just in time, creating a very, very nice narrow choke point. 2 Hellions with that splash damage will be able to clean up many of those Zerglings, and those Zerglings are just going to be simply sitting at the bottom of the ramp. 1 Zergling sitting at the 3rd base here. We are going into Baneling Nest. We are training up another queen here at the 3rd base once more. Command center already done by Kaz, so Kaz is upgrading that to an orbital command, and we'll see where he decides to land that particular orbital command there. Hellions still holding the Zelnaga Tower, and Hyun now with a very strong supply advantage, 77 over 60, but we are seeing further tech come in from Kaz. He is getting off 2 more refineries here, and by the looks of his play, he is going to be going into just Terran Bio. We could perhaps see a tech lab added off over here. Terran Bio with siege tanks, very strong, but now we need to see Kaz recreate what he did in games 1 and 2 and really just macro up heavily, get off more barracks and be able to train up more units with that double engineering bay upgrade that we currently see. Double engineering base here and here, with an armory to follow very, very shortly. Marines attempting to take down these destructible rocks. Medevacs could be coming in for a drop. Hellions now trying to test the waters here as the Queen does need to back off. Zerglings have been able to take down the backdoor rocks here, so they will be able to transition from the 2nd and the 3rd relatively easily without having to come under fire from those Hellions. Apparently Hyun is complaining that there is a lot of lag in the game. Perhaps that will affect his micro, but then again that will also affect any Hellion micro as well, unless Kaz is inexperienced. Zerglings now trying to run in, and it looks like they will come in for a surround onto all of those Hellions. Hellion's going to get taken down very easily, and now make a move back down across the field. No, deciding to back off once more, only sending 1 Zergling to control that tower. So far, Hyun still with about a 16 supply advantage. We are going into a macro hatch here, and with more Zerglings being trained, Banelings will be the key unit. 1 orbital command already trying to establish down here at the 3rd base. Marines are going to finish off that poor Zergling, but the scouting information has been captured already as the Zergling quickly gets taken down. A sea of units and Banelings making a move. 1-1 upgrades going up against 2-2 upgrades. I believe, yes, 2-2 upgrades coming in. 7 Marines, 1 siege tank, and triple training of SCVs as a 4th base is now being established. Hyun really trying to make sure that he doesn't stay even on bases, always taking up 1 base more than his opponent. And Kaz now, learning from games 3 and 4, wants to make sure that any transition into Mutalisks are quickly stopped. Missile turrets have been established at the 3rd base. Nothing here yet at the natural, and nothing here in the main base, so Kaz is still going to be vulnerable to a lot of Mutalisks. Zerglings looking to take down the destructible rocks off over here. Extractors being placed down, and we may see some mining come in here in just a moment as those Zerglings finish off the rocks here. And let's take a look at the harvester count. It is 82 compared to 68. We are going into a 2nd factory, so it is going to be double factory with a whole bunch of barracks, and now there's that factory off over here. And Kaz does have the production that he had in games 1 and 2, and Hyun will be very or just be in a difficult situation to try and stop this, especially without any fungal growth, to make sure that those Baneling hits do hit all of the necessary Marines. Alright, Mutalisks are currently in the air now. Where are they going to be going is the key question. There are missile turrets here making sure that the poor Mutalisks will get shot down even if they try to do a flyby. 1 missile turret as effective as 4 Marines, except they do have a lot better range. 10 Mutalisks now looking to fly in. How much damage can they do? There's a little bit of a open zone right here, and if they fly simply past those missile turret there, and here we go, flying straight inside the main. and SCVs will get taken down. 1 SCV already down, 2, 3 SCVs, 7 workers now killed. Marines making their way over. Where are these Mutalisks going to be going? All they can do is simply fly over those missile turrets, and some of those Mutalisks may get taken down there. No, natural regeneration really helping out, as those Mutalisks are able to back away once more. Not one Mutalisk was lost in that engagement at all. Marines are now upgraded 2-1, soon to be 2-2. Thors are already upgraded 1-0. Double Thors being trained, so that means that mass Zergling will be needed to shut that down. The Mutalisks now looking to come back in once more. There are a couple Marines here, and it looks like some of these Marines will get taken down. Marines are falling here, and there's not simply the necessary numbers, as the Mutalisks looking to just destroy here and take down a lot of these SCVs. 14 workers already killed, now trying to do a flyby away once more, losing 2 Mutalisks in that engagement, but now we see the 2-2 Marines pushing in. Zerglings now trying to come in, Banelings coming in, siege tanks are going to siege, and here we go. This is going to be the engagement. Banelings crashing up onto the siege tanks, not really dealing the necessary damage, as Kaz comes out ahead in terms of the supply, but quickly re-macroing. 66 Zerglings being added here. The 2-2 Marines will be going up against 2-2 Zerglings, as the Marines now trying to finish off this hatchery. Zerglings will be popping out of there in just a moment. Are they going to be able to perhaps take down these Marines? Broodlings now coming out as well. Zerglings are going to engage, but that's not going to be enough, as these Marines are going to deal a lot of damage, as the Banelings quickly going to get focused down here. The Marines are upgraded, medevacs are trying to support, and now we see a 140 versus 124. 8 Marines saved inside a medevac, as we now see Zerglings going up against SCVs here at the 3rd. It is 3 bases to 3, as Hyun did lose his 4th base. And let's take a look at the overall losses. Zerg with 4,000 more losses, but he also has a stronger economy overall, and he should be able to macro up much more quickly, as now we are going into Infestors. Infestors already have the pathogen glands. If they're able to hit these Marines with fungal growths, and then followed up with Banelings, these Marines are quickly going to fall apart. There are a lot of only a handful of siege tanks, only 2 siege tanks and 2 Thors left to really protect and shoot down all of those units. More Banelings being added. We are going into 3-3 upgrades, but Kaz will have the upgrade advantage for a short while, as he only needs 50 more seconds. Zerglings are ready to go. We are going to see 1 medevac out in the front off over here. No new command centers are being built at all. Kaz hoping to really finish this game on 3 bases. Hyun really wanting to get back up onto 4, as Kaz does have about a 30 supply advantage now. Hatchery is going to be completed here. Hit that inject. Drones should be transferred. We are sitting on 78 drones on 4 bases now, as the Zerglings need to wait for those 3-3 and Crackling upgrades. Crackling upgrades will add additional DPS to those Zerglings, perhaps to take down all of these units, as now a large group of Marines already moving out across the field. Zerglings ready to go. Siege tanks will be sieging here in just a second, as the Infestors now come in. Oh, the Infestors are a little bit slower. Are they going to be able to get off the fungal growth? Yes, 1 fungal growth there, as the Infestors quickly get cleaned up by siege tank fire. Only, 5 Infestors left out of, I believe, 6 or 7. Level 2 weapons upgrade coming in. More siege tanks being added. And those Zerglings could perhaps try to do a flank off over here and do a run into this 3rd base. That not many SCVs down, but every SCV does count at this point, as Kaz is sitting at a 196 to 184. Massive number of Marines and siege tanks now trying to push out. 2-0 upgrades soon on the rest of the Terran mech, as the Thor is now simply going to walk in and shut down this hatchery off over here. Drops also very quickly cleaned up, as the Queens were able to snipe it down. The Infestors have a lot of energy, perhaps 2 fungal growths each, and if those fungal growths hit once more, that could change the outcome of the game. 183 supply versus 200. Drone advantage is still very, very much of a factor here, but that does mean that the Terran army is about double in size, as we are now getting in more and more units. 13 Banelings being added. Ultralisk now being added as well, as the Ultralisk should be able to absorb a lot of damage from those Marines. Infestors could get off some fungal growths, but there are simply too many siege tanks, and with 2-0 upgrades now being completed, those infestors are going to fall down. But what is this? In comes the flank once more, trying to hit where his opponent is not. The Zergling's going to be able to take down a lot of the siege tanks, perhaps some of the Marines as well. Ultralisk coming in and bringing up the rear, and this is turning into a base trade again. The Queens are now engaging as well. The Queens are off of creep. Will they be able to keep all of these Ultralisks alive is the question. One Ultralisk down to 23 hit points. It is trying to stay alive. It gets taken down as the Queens are now going to be engaging. The Queens engaging. Are they going to be able to transfuse? And yes, transfusing, keeping these Queens alive. The Queens doing a great job staying alive as those siege tanks only deal bonus damage against armored. But Hyun may have overcommitted, and there is the GG. Hyun unable to finish off with 3 straight wins as Kaz comes back and takes Game 5 in this best of 5 series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.